Hi Flosstube, I'm Chantel and this is Flosstube number 13. It's a little bit of a different episode this morning because I'm getting ready. It is early in the morning right now and I'm getting ready to take off with Brian. We are headed to Colorado and we'll be gone for about a week to go skiing. So we're going to Keystone, Colorado to do some skiing and I'm looking forward to some time with him. But I thought I'd do a Flosstube episode with my WIPS and how I pack to travel with my stitching, because I've got some good plans this week to kind of relax and do a lot of stitching and maybe get some projects either well on their way or finished. Probably just well on their way. I probably won't get anything finished, let's be honest. But anyway, I wanted to show you my bag and what I travel with. This is very heavy. It is, I'm gonna hold it up for you. This bag is a sewing machine tote bag. It does have wheels. They move all over the place. You know, they go all the directions. And I picked it up at Joann Fabrics about a year and a half ago, probably, to house all of my project bags and all of the other little accessories. I just kind of wheel it underneath the table in my sewing room, and I keep what I'm working on in there. I have a basket too that has other things. I'm going to show you that in a minute. But this is what I'll travel with and what I take with me if I'm going to a retreat or just, you know, on vacation. Or my camper. It's a nice one for my camper too, because I've got a spot in the camper I can just kind of tuck it away and everything stays nice and organized in there. The top flip up has these nice little zipper pouches, and inside here I keep some little fabric glue, some hair ties to get my hair out of my face, and pens and hand sanitizer. And I had purchased those clip-on LED lights that go on your glasses. I have a couple sets of those. I don't use those very often anymore, but they might come in handy in the truck as we're traveling down the road in our big white diesel truck. So I grabbed those and some scotch tape, because inevitably I'm going to have a mistake and a boo-boo, and I'm going to have to take some out. So that helps me get the threads out as I'm stitch ripping. And then, of course, the most important thing for me to have while I'm traveling, if I'm going to stitch in the car, is a good supply of Dramamine. Yep, I get sick. So, you know, but as long as I take Dramamine ahead of time, I seem to be able to do okay. So I was really pleasantly surprised with that. The other container or package storage thing I have that is in my case is this particular case. This is the only one I could find when I did buy it, and again, it's about a year and a half ago. And I believe these are cases for knitting needles. I don't knit, but that's what it looks like to me, that they're knitting needles. But it holds the Halo Go light very well and fits right in there nicely. So I had picked those up. That is something I had seen. One of you guys had recommended it at one point, so I went over to Joann's and picked up one of these. I haven't seen these since, but it is perfect for it. So if you look for it, it would be like a knitter's needle case, I think, and it holds that Halo Go light in there nice. So I have one of these because, one, I'm going to need the light on the go, and two, I've kind of become addicted to using the magnification now. I use it all the time. When I first started stitching, I didn't, but now I use it all the time, and I'm kind of addicted to it. So on that note, I also, and I've never used this, so I don't know, maybe it'll drive me crazy. I'm not sure. We're going to give it a try. But I picked this up. It was just at Hobby Lobby. I had found it, and it was a Lumi visor magnifier with LED light. Maybe you guys have a better one, but I grabbed this one at Hobby Lobby just to have in the car, because I know that the light isn't going to sit. I use this lap desk when I stitch here at home too. I usually use the lap desk. I use a lap desk, and then I just put my Halo Go light on it. Put that out. It's got the nice little grippy on the bottom, so it stays in place really good. But I usually have my light, my chart, and then in the front pocket I have this little stand that I keep for my phone so that I can, you know, watch all of your floss tubes and other things. Lately, I've also been listening to a lot of books on audiobook, so that's been nice. I don't really listen to fiction, but I do like, right now I've been listening to Jennifer Allwood and some other people. I like books like that. They're very interesting. So that's the Halo Go light that I take along with me with the magnifier. I did pick up an extra, and it's fully charged, so I've got an extra one. I knew I needed more anyway, so I went ahead and ordered another one so I'd have it on my trip. And then my lap desk. Here on the clip of my lap desk, I have one of those super strong rare earth magnets just kind of stuck in there. And I find that's really helpful. It holds my scissors on my lap really well, so I can kind of click my scissors to that, and that's been working well for my scissors. So, and like I said, this is what that light thing looks like. It does go up. I haven't even used it, and so here, and so it comes down, but I think I have to hold really close. I don't know. We're gonna try. I'm crazy, I know. We're just gonna try things, and hopefully it'll work. If not, they can use it in the shop for something, I'm sure, that every now and then. So that's that. On the side pockets of my bag, I do take along some Stitcher's lotion. It is winter, we're in Michigan. This is something I had picked up at my local needlework shop here, but that's exactly what it's called, Stitcher's lotion. And I have blackberry and vanilla scent. I've also got some extra hand sanitizer bottles, that's in the side. The front pocket, I've got that little phone stand, an extra bag of, looks like I've got backup floss in here of 3865 and 310 DMC, and cross stitch journal. Also have some extra line keepers. Didn't even know those were in there. And then this little pouch, Happy Camper's got a lot of my favorite pens, I guess. Pens and things like that. Pen colors that I use, my iPad pen, all of those things. So that's in the front. Then in the middle, obviously, where all the stitching is, I did bring an extra tote bag, and I also have an extra backpack because, I mean, we're going to a ski lodge, okay? And this is great for in the room, but let's be honest, I am not gonna be wheeling this sucker through snow and into a lodge somewhere if I want to sit for the afternoon and stitch by the fire or something. So I grabbed an extra bag so I could throw just the projects I was working on and my bag and my light and things in the bag and not have to wheel this all over the place. You know, I mean, I'm grandma, but let's be real here. I can't be that much of a grandma. So anyway. Okay, now let's get into the WIPS and the projects that I'm planning to take along. The bags I have are by Goose Design, and she is on Etsy. It is Goose Design. Just check her out on Etsy. I'm not going to have links in the bottom of this because I'm going to load this once we get into the truck. So there won't be any links in the description until I figure that out on the road. So this particular one, and I've got a backup bag for this project. But in this bag, this little Halloween bag, I have started, and these are things I had picked up a while ago. I have in this little plastic bag all of the charts for Lizzie Kate's Halloween rules. I kind of missed the boat. I started after Lizzie Kate was already retired with stitching, so I've had to kind of collect and find and pick them up where I could when I find the Lizzie Kate charts. So I have a start on it just so that I could get going, and that's the top, and I've got my whole piece. This is going to be, it's on 14 count, Ada, it's just a beige, I don't know the name of this one. I had picked it up someplace else. But I do have a start on that. You take all of the small charts and stitch them all together, and I printed off the border chart online. The border is free online, so you go get that on Lizzie Kate's blog, and then also the top part of it, that little top part. So there's a whole bunch of different ones, and the little top part is a free chart too. I will show you. I printed this off. You've probably already seen it, but that's what it'll look like when I'm finished. I'm hoping to have a couple of these done, and then I can get a start on some Halloween stitching while we're there. The project bags that Denise at Goose Design has too, she also has these little guys. She calls them pals, and it's, you know, the batting or felt. I keep a little needle with each project, and then extra floss can go in there. Now obviously this project has got a lot of floss. Oh, I also have this one. Okay, and this is from Starlight Stitching Company. I have a couple of these. This one is actually, it's glow-in-the-dark Halloween fabric. It's so cute. So I've got a couple directions that I could go with this one. She also has the felt on the inside and then a spot for a needle. Looks like I got a spare needle in there, so that's good. The inside of it up front is a spot, a pocket for floss, and then there's a separate little back pocket too that holds floss. The floss for Halloween rules that I have kitted up, I have it kind of both directions. I had already purchased, and that's what's in this bag, one of these mesh bags from, this one came with the, I'm drawing a blank, sorry, Stitch Quarterly. This one came with the Stitch Quarterly. This is my favorite size. This is one of my favorite bags along with this. And I keep my floss in these because some of these projects have a lot of floss. And of course I'm, you know, crazy and I use my own giant chunky drops. The chunky drops are really nice. I like them for holding my floss, and this is how I store them on my pegboard or slat wall. But they do take up a lot of room in your bag, so that's why I end up with a separate bag. So it's kind of a, you know, this is good, and you know, whatever. So this is all the floss that is going to be a part of the Halloween rules, and I just use a labeler and label the DMC color on there. That's all the DMC colors of floss. And oh, I do have, I'm sorry, my fabric is Fiddler's Cloth, I guess, Ada 14 count light oatmeal. I picked that up at Stitches and Things here in Fenton, Michigan. So I tucked that in there. So anyway, oh, and I wrote down that I started this on February 21st, so I could get a little start on that because I don't have it in my journal yet. But I also had a moment the other day. I went over to Moe's Needles and Things, I think it's called, in Portland, Michigan, and I don't know, I had a breakdown, and I bought all of the colors in the called for colors in the WIPS dye works, so they're in here too. So I have both color options. If I decide I want to use variegated floss, I'm going to use the WIPS. If I get into it and just decide go with the DMC, I'll just go with the DMC. There's not, some of the spots on it aren't very, there's not a lot of stitching, so I don't know that it's really going to be worthwhile to use the variegated floss if it'll even show up. But on spots where it is going to, I might go ahead and use it. All right, moving on. My next WIP in my project bag. Now this one is, I'm stitching along. I have one of the mesh bags for my floss, and it's in this particular Goose design bag, done in the Priscilla's Pretty Plaids blue. Inside it's got some Lori Holt fabric. This one is Vintage Housewife, and I am participating in this stitch along. I'm just failing miserably. So this is my week to get 2 stitch alongs that I'm working on well on their way, and to get myself caught up so that I can continue on with the stitch along. Vintage Housewife, I printed the schedule. So I can show you the, you may have already seen it, is by Lori Holt, and it's totally adorable. I have gingham curtains in my sewing room, so this one is really, I'm excited about this one. These are some things too. I thought this would be a good car one for me. So it's a big chart, and I've got that in a bag in here. I did get going on it though, and I'm doing it a little bit different than the stitch along. I'm going to get on track with the stitch along, but the stitch along starts with working on this square is January's, This square is February's, and so on. Then we've got March, and it just keeps going. And this schedule can be found on the Jolly Jabber at Fat Quarter Shop. The schedule is to take you through the stitch along for the whole year. This outside gingham border is scheduled for November and December. I needed to get started on it and get a jump start, so I decided in November and December, I'm mixing it up a little bit. I know I'm going to be heavy and want to be doing lots of holiday stitching. I don't have enough in my stash yet, done, fully finished, of Christmas. And I really want a lot of Christmas. So I know I'm going to be working on that heavy there. So I decided to do the border first and then go back and I'll fill in those first 2 squares and then I'll keep up with it but I should be finished early, so I will not be stitched. I'll be done before November if I keep up with my schedule. So this is my start on Vintage Housewife, and with this gingham border, getting started on it, it's easy to be able to do this border because these are really easy to count doing the ginghams. Someone had asked if I do one color at a time. Yeah, this is my back. I travel a little bit with the back and forth. I figure I'm going to stitch over it so it's going to secure. You can see here, like I traveled between the ginghams, but I'm going to go back and stitch over that. Maybe you'll see it. I don't think so. But I can do a lot of fill in. These are really easy to count and easy to keep going, so I don't have to pay super close attention, but I thought this will be a really good project. We are going with a group of friends, so I'm going to be the only one sitting there stitching, so I thought fill in work would be a good way to be able to continue stitching and be efficient. Got a needle in there. I don't have a pal in this one, so I do have a needle with it. And then my floss is all in this little confetti bag. I believe this one it was also part of Stitch Quarterly. It might have came with Hello Summer, the popsicle. And there's all the pretty colors for Vintage Housewife, all loaded up on my floss drops. And then I picked up, because I have all these like groups of floss just kind of hanging out. This is done I've got all the called for DMC. I grabbed some of Lori Holt's little paper tags and I put a tag on there that I label Vintage Housewife so that if this ends up random somewhere, I'm probably going to know anyway, but you never know. So I tag my collections now with that. So Vintage Housewife is going to be a fun one to keep going, and I think I can do that pretty easily in the car with working on just the gingham and then get those full, then I'll be caught up and back on track with the stitch along. You can still, obviously it's early, so jump in and grab all the supplies that are at Fat Quarter Shop and you can get going on that. This is a brand new bag I just got from Goose. Isn't it so cute? So it is obviously some St. Patrick's Day fun. I have collected the ones that Priscilla, I did a few St. Patrick's Day things, but I collected the charts that she has shared from Stitching with the Housewives that she's done this last month. I haven't started any of them yet. So in my bag, I've got some black 14 count DMC, all cut to size, the charts, a new pal that came with my bag, and the colors are by Classic Colorworks. So I've got those all kitted and ready to go so that I can work on a quick project and have that as an option. It's funny. I will never, obviously, I might even not even touch all of this stuff, never get this done in just a week, but it's the same as, I don't know if you pack the same way when you go on vacation and you're like, here's an outfit for Monday, for Tuesday, for Wednesday, 3 extra outfits in case I don't feel like wearing the one that I packed for Monday or Tuesday. That's how I'm feeling about my stitching. It's like, here's a stitch for this day, and if I don't feel like that one, here's a stitch for that day, And then my next project that I have ready to go is in this bag by Goose Design. It is done in Priscilla's Pretty Plaids, and then it's got the Lori Holt stitch in the inside. This one is ready to go with Home is Where the Wreath Is. This one I knew would be a fantastic travel project, so I went ahead and got it started and then saved it for the rest of the trip. as you've seen before in my other post, I already stitched the original, or the home is where the wreath is, the wreath, and put it together on my ladder with some painted wooden letters. Well, I have a second one going in a denim tone that is, I'm stitching all of the letters and stitching all the wreaths. And after seeing the new wreaths that are coming out, I might switch my game plan. I thought I was going to stitch the switch out wreaths, the swap wreaths, I guess they call them, for the black and white version on the white ladder. But now I'm thinking, after looking at them, I might like them on this gray cloth I have by Zweigart. But anyway, I am doing all of the letters in blue corn. So there's my drop with blue corn. I've got to start on them. I have H done. H is finished. I'm working on M. Here's M. And there's E. I haven't touched E yet. I'm on the fence over the whole outlining it and filling in. I tried it with this one. And you know how those games where you like stare at something for a long time and then you look away and you can see something? Apparently I'm that way, because when I try, and it might be my tension might be what it is, but when I do stitch the outline first and then fill in, for some reason I can always see the outline. So if you've got, is that, because like right here, it must be my tension. But and you probably can't see it in the camera, but I can see it. So here, I know I went straight down, and I can see, I mean, I am using variegated floss, so that might be why, but I feel like I can see the difference. So I've been doing it just a row at a time to get a more even look. I did that on the giant snowman with Lori Holt, the snowballs for sale, and there's one line that is driving me cuckoo because I can see it. No one else can see it. I know, it's just me. I get crazy that way. I'm not always crazy, but, well, who am I kidding? Most of the time I'm crazy. Then, my next one is in, I love these mesh bags. I even have my I'll get it. The set for this comes with the pink gingham, and then you get one of these gray ginghams, and you also get, it comes with the big giant blue one, and I actually have all my hair dryer and stuff packed in that one. So doesn't have anything to do with stitching at all. But I love these little mesh bags. They're wonderful for this. So in this bag, I kind of combined a couple things. I've got, again, a Dot Dot Goose project bag. This one, I did my granddaughter's quilt in this collection. This was Blooming Bunch from Maureen McCormick. I loved this. I bought way too much of it. I have a lot of fabric left of this one, so I'm going to have fun working on that. But in this bag, and I haven't started it yet, but I think I've made a decision. I'm working on, who am I kidding? Flea market baskets. What I've started with flea market baskets, and how I kind of got off on a little squirrel moment there with that, is I started doing the stars that Kimberly's doing, the Sweet Barn stitch along, and a star for each month. And I did one star in the center star is what we're talking about, this center star. You'll have to check the Jolly Jabber out to see the how that's going or what it is. But I did this star in 10 count, and I put it on one of my houses. Then I did the same in this colorway using these colors. Then I did it again in 14 count for another house. And now I've done 2 of them because they've got colorways set up for all the months of the year. So I've done January's and February's, and they're sitting aside because I'm going to mat mine all together on one big frame. So now I'm getting started on the entire stitch. And I do need to get caught up because in the stitch along schedule, they started with the star, so you've done the star, and then these churn dash things around, I guess that's what they're called. I'm not an avid quilter, are what should be finished. So I do want to get that going so that by the end of this week I'll be caught up and moving along on the stitch along. I decided to go with the same fabric. It's Shadow 14 count. I had purchased Cloud in Lugana, I believe it is. And I might take it just in case. I'm just not confident with stitching on that yet. And then this is the little Project Pal that's in that one. But I might take it. I think I'll go grab it. It's just in my sewing room right here. Grab it before we head out the door. But I know he's getting ready to go, so I better double time it here. Then in my other bag, inside a bag, the bag in a bag in a bag, is the smaller mesh bag in the gray and white gingham. And I've got all of the DMC colors for flea market baskets right here. And these beiges are what I was having trouble with. I was using other fabrics and it was a little too yellow. And then of course I've got it tagged with one of her tags. So I know this collection of floss goes to flea market baskets. Then, looks like I've got one more. Oh, I remember what that, oh my God, I don't even remember what I've packed. Packing this was like a process, let me tell ya. In this mesh bag, I'll go real quick with this one, is flea market flowers. Okay, I hit a wall on flea market flowers, and I don't know why, because I love it, and it's very, very relaxing to stitch. I did it on, I've got it started here on Fabric Flare, this wood green look, and this is how much I've got going so far. And I realized what I did, and I think this is what made me stop, is I was not enjoying stitching this. And the reason why I wasn't enjoying stitching it is because I had loaded all of the floss for this chart onto those bobbins. And the bobbins made all, you know what I'm talking about, those little bobbins, and you wind it around. When I take a strand off, I had all those kinks in it. And like I said, I can see the outline. Well, the kinks were driving me nuts, and I didn't like it. And so I put it away, and it was getting really messy, and I had stuff everywhere, and I didn't like it at all. So I have all that floss, and it's all still on bobbins, and I was just like kind of over it, and I realized that's silly. Just get more. So yeah, I bought the floss all again, and I put it on my drops. Because what I do with my floss when I load this onto my drops is I cut them into the same lengths. I really learned that I loved the lengths that came with the classic Colorworks floss. So now I cut all my DMC to the same length, and I will show sometime how I do it. I'm sure all you do it the same too. But what I do is I take all of the floss and I unload the whole thing. And if you unload it, you start with the spot on the side where the number is, and I pull it all out, and I put it on the ground. Then I take one of the ends and the other, and I put them together. I come down, I grab the other end, and I bring it up and put it together here, and then I grab it again. Then I take my scissors and I snip the loops on this side, and I snip the loops on that side, fold it over, and I've got all of my floss cut to length, ready to go in the lengths that I like to stitch with. Just a little something that I found that helps me. So I reloaded them all on, and now I have all of the colors. Yes, I bought them all again, and call me crazy, I did it again. And so that's ready to go. I also have one of those Starlight Stitching Company stitch clutch in the Flea Market fabric by Lori Holt that matches my Dot Dot Goose bag in the Flea Market fabric. So I thought we'd pack that. And that's Flea Market baskets. Those are all of the projects that I have ready to go in my travel tote. The other things I take with me are, I have some of these magnetic boards in a Ziploc bag, and sometimes, a lot of times, I will slip my chart in on top of this board. Then I use the line keepers as magnets to kind of keep track. That goes on my lap. I also have a couple of these little bags. I had made the Eat, Sleep, Stitch, Repeat out of Lori Holt's fabric. And these are where I keep extra needles. I do have the thimble pads in case I poke through, which I've done, and those are very helpful. I love those. Some scissors, and I'm started on most things, but that little guy. I have another one that is just this, and it has my planner in there. I tucked it in here, and then an extra bag that I made that has some extra scissors, same colors, all from her. I'm not sure what that collection is off the top of my head, but it's Lori Holt fabric that I had in the scrappy version. So that's everything in my bag, in my tote bag, ready to go. Again, with some extra bags so that I can take it, you know, just what I'm going to work on for the day. And then I have just, 2 minutes, and I'll show you, then I got to head out of here. The extra bags I have, these are my Dot Dot Goose collection that I'm working on. I keep them in this basket. And I do have some things kitted up, but a lot of them are just empty, waiting for, you know, and of course I've got them organized in seasonal order. So we've got summer here in the front. I've got some Lizzie Kate in that bag. This little guy, he's the Disney, that little orange dude. Oh, I love him. So I grab Disney ones for sure when she gets going. But this has Sew by Row. I'm almost finished with that, so I'm gonna polish that off someday soon here. This one, oh, this has got to go in here. Whoopsie daisy, I want to take this with me. This one's kitted up with Country Cottage Needleworks Welcome Home. I will show it to you really quick. I've got all the floss ready to go. It's that cute little house. We have a new backer coming. That's got to go with me. Backer coming for that. So I'm glad I found that. Then I've got ready to go in the floss, but I haven't cut fabric for it yet. So as soon as I get back, I will. Calendar Crates April, and this one is in another Dot Dot Goose bag with the Blooming Bunch fabric. And then I've got carrot cake in there, so I will get going on that when I get back. This sweet little bee bag with a pal in it has Calendar Crates May. Then these are just empty bags after this, but I have this one in the denim and the little cow and farm animal guys. I got some for patriotic stitching. That's going to be fun this summer. Here's another one with patriotic fabric. Then we move into Halloween. Couple Halloween, so I could work on Halloween projects. And, oh, another one. Oh, and if you're watching, Denise, she just sent me this. I didn't have the Project Pal for this haunted house one. So I've got the Project Pal now to match too. Thank you so much. A Christmas one. Sorry, gonna sneeze. Another Christmas one. And then this one's got fabric in it ready to go for And to All a Good Night. That's one I'm going to work on in 2022. Another Christmas. And this Mickey Mouse one with the string lights. Love it. And another Christmas. Oh, and then 2 backups. Oh, and I've got Cozy Christmas with a project, a clutch. Clutch and Cozy Christmas, and a Cozy Christmas bag with Priscilla's. And then this one's just a random extra that's ready for something. That's my stitching and how I organize and how I keep my things. And follow me on Instagram this week. I will share maybe some skiing fun and also how I'm coming along and how my stitching is going. The girls will be in the shop all week packing all the orders and getting things out to you. So everything will continue to run smoothly. We haven't been skiing in quite a while, so this is a pretty big trip for him. Next Flosstube, I will handle all of the giveaways, and the other giveaways have gone out. But the free shipping, we're going to let that ride for this one too. So in the comments below, what it is that the giveaway will be 3 people from Flosstube 12 and 3 people from Flosstube 13 will receive free shipping to our products from the Etsy shop. I thought that could be a really good value to some of you if you're looking, especially I know if you're out west, shipping can get expensive. So leave a comment. It was so cute reading all your comments about where you're going for a trip, and you all were using the word shipping in there, and you'd say, I'm shipping myself too, but I'm getting we got to get on the road heads up here from the man. So have a great week, guys. I'll be back and we'll talk again later and see how much I get done. Bye. Gotta turn you off manually.